the Grey Hat Beard podcast. Hello and welcome to Grey Hat Beard Princess show 62. We're the modern workplace podcast that talks about all things Microsoft 365. I'm Kevin McDonnell. I'm the Grey of Grey Hat Beard Princess. I'm the head of practice for modern workplace at CPS, and now I almost got it wrong there. Almost said office. It's Microsoft 365 apps and services MVP, which really doesn't roll off the tongue. We haven't got a hat today. He's off on his holidays, bringing his summer hats out, but we do have a beard.
We do. Hi, everyone. My name is Gary Trinder. I'm a cloud developer advocate at Microsoft. That's about it these days.
That's about it these days.
And a member of the PMP.
It's all one.
And a member of PMP,
and
and just like there's so much more. And he wears a lovely T-shirt today, and this matches by coincidence the T-shirt that I am wearing. So he hates stickers. I love stickers. I run PYOD, PPRO and device. Hi, my name is Louisa. I'm an M365 and Power Platform consultant, MVP in M365 development and business applications. And my favorite number is 42. It's true.
I like that.
It's very true. You know where this comes from?
It's the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, but do you know why it is 42 and not, let's say, 118 or 7?
I don't know if I do.
Okay, so in ASCII, the asterisk is 42, and the asterisk is the placeholder for what? For everything, and the universe, and the meaning of life. This is why it's 42. So just like, some geek knowledge is like on the way.
Oh, it's a shame. We originally were hoping to have Leon Gordon with us tonight. Unfortunately, he can't make it, and talking about 42 from table, just running around my head.
We will confront him with this next time once we get to record with him.
Absolutely, we'll definitely record him. But instead today we're going to try and do a news episode. So we're going to do the one here, but we're going to do a bit of a special. So we've just had last week Microsoft Inspire, one of the, I was going to say 3 big conferences. It's the kind of one slightly behind Build and Ignite. Obviously, you've got now the Power Platform Conference, although that's not an official Microsoft one. So it's one of the 3 official Microsoft ones, but very much focused on partners. So we know many people may not have seen much of it or attended it at all. And even those partners may not have caught as much as they probably should have done on there. But what I've liked over the last few years is they've started to announce things during this, which I don't think they used to particularly. Certainly when it was in person, it was more about, the partner relationships and catching up with what's been happening there. But since it's gone, I was going to say online, but certainly hybrids, they've kind of announced tech geek stuff, the kind of things that interest us, as well as all the kind of businessy shenanigans that goes on as well. So we thought we'd recap some of those.
I think you're right, Kev, because it's a real mixed bag of the things that we've kind of picked out. And, partner conference is generally a little bit more salesy, if you like, as well. Here's the things that we'd like partners to focus on in the coming year. But a little bit of that, but new stuff as well, which is always nice to see.
That's true. And I guess the things they've announced are aligned with those things they're pushing. But I suppose that's the same with Ignite and others as well. But So I think we'll kick off, and it's an initial one that's near and dear to my heart. Of course, it's all about Viva, with Viva Engage announced. And this is all about how you can build engagement across your organization, how you can build community. Sorry, it can't say communities with this one, but how you can tell stories within there, all built much as the rest of the other Viva pillars. They're embedded within Teams as an app. And I think the stories, it's really is that focus. I found those short video clips, getting short stories out, whether it's your leadership team, whether it's your different departments, sharing updates from there, hopefully no more emailed newsletters around that are saved as PDF and sent round and really annoying because you can't open them properly on your phone and scroll left and right. Oh, it knows when people do that.
So you as well have a love-hate relationship to PDFs, right?
I would say hate, if I'm honest, because I hate creating them, and they just wind me up, to be honest.
Well, not to steal the title, but obviously Viva Engage. What's more engaging, someone talking to you for 5 minutes or reading a PDF that you have to then go through? It's like PDF might be fine to have, but that conversation, that summary over the top of that is a much better way to kind of get your message across. I think it's been interesting. I've seen a bit of kind of hate around the stories and the storylines, and a bit of like, this is not Facebook. And I saw some articles that were like,
is it The Verge, wasn't it?
Microsoft, they're trying to bring Facebook in, and it's, okay, I get it. Everything's got stories now, but I'm really glad that this has been announced, and it's something that I've been able to see running internally in Microsoft as well, and being able to see people, leaders being able to use this as a new way of communicating with, their team, departments, but cross departments as well. It's a nice way to just go and see a 5-minute update. Of someone talking about things that are going on in their area, and it's a nice, easy way to just consume that. It's not just trawling through a lot of text. So it's been really interesting to see this kind of build, and then come basically as a new feature. I think people are gonna like it, from what I've seen. But yeah, I like it.
I think if
I think it's the first time
why
I think it's the first time that I don't say I have opinions, because I really like that. I really like it. So it's just like I can just agree.
And we've managed to talk about this for 3 minutes, and not one of us has mentioned the word Yammer, which is quite impressive. So I think it's worth noting.
It is Yammer. I mean, yes, it is Yammer. But apparently the name is burned, so they focus just like on rebranding this just like a little bit, and just like giving it some shiny new glance of stuff. It's fine. So I don't mind. So yes, they rename and repackage stuff, and we are now used to that they are doing this, and it evolves as well. So it's not only rebranding and repackaging, but it is an elevated experience from what we had before. And as Yammer, even after 3 years of Yammer, it was just like a little bit dusty, maybe just like old-fashioned experience to some.
We should say that Yammer is not going away, so it's not a rename. No. It's a new way of getting to the Yammer content. The same way you've got Teams files, that's still SharePoint behind the hood. This is still Yammer behind the hood. If you have the Yammer apps, if you go through the Yammer website, you're going to see pretty much the same thing. I think on there. So they're not taking Yammer away. They're building a lot of these things, but these stories will also kind of come through in Outlook and other items as well. And I think, as with Yammer, it will be as good as people put the effort into it and make it happen. And for me, I like it when, and it'd be interesting to hear, Gary, what they're doing at Microsoft, but seeing leaders share their stories and put those things up there. In this hybrid world, and yes, we have to say hybrid, we could throw the word pandemic somewhere in this as well, but in this hybrid world, you're not seeing the leaders as much, you're not hearing from them as much, and I think this is a way, hopefully, to do that. Yes, I know some of you cynical old people, no, I'm going to take that back. Some of you sitting there going, yeah, but it's just going to be the same old people sharing stories and putting things up there. Yeah, it probably will be, but if you don't like it, share your own story, Get your stuff up there and get it out. I think it's good. We need, as Bob Hoskins used to say in the UK, it is good to talk, and this is a way to get that out there.
It is good. I will use that, just like in the future. I will use that. Taking notes here.
For those who didn't grow up in England in the 80s, there was a big advertising campaign by BT with Bob Hoskins going, "It's good to talk." So stuck in my head for many, many years.
It's amazing how that stuff sticks around, right? As soon as you said it, you're like, exactly. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
No, exactly which advert it is. Gary, did you? Were there any particular news that jumped out at you at all? Maybe involving APIs?
There was, yeah. So this is strange. Like it's a partner conference, yet there was an announcement about a new API. We're still on the Viva kind of topic here, but it's the Viva Learning API.
No, it's not topics. It's not topics.
Oh, no topics.
It's not topics. It's learning.
Viva,
you know.
Yeah. I'll remind myself the next time. Don't mix the words.
Let me share a goal. This is not about topics. It's about learning.
We'll
Let me
connect
give you
together
some
to
insight.
learn this. So.
I want to give you some insight on that.
I think we need a competition of who can make a sentence with all of the Viva apps and brand all in one. I'm sure we can make something up. Or a song,
okay,
maybe.
you sir, and me. So we have a deal now. So this is going to be a battle.
It will be.
I like this. I like this.
So
okay, tell us about
Engage.
the new API.
The new API. So new API that is already out. It's the Viva Learning API. So this I actually saw it mentioned when I looked through the sessions, and it was kind of it was an odd one. It just stuck out. So I was interested to see what was coming. I'm glad to say that it's a Microsoft Graph beta endpoint. There was a little bit of worry where I kind of saw it sat by itself and it was going to be its own API, but it's not. It's part of the Graph, which is great. So in the beta endpoint, there's now a way for developers to integrate with Viva Learning. You can manage learning providers and learning content as well. So you can, push content into your learning catalogs, which then, people in your organization can actually then consume and learn from. So that's good. So if you're, an ISV, you run an LMS, and you want to integrate with Viva Learning, then this is your route in. I was looking at the API permissions as well. It's a bit of a split, as we tend to ask for. App permissions are generally the key. For the content, you've got app permissions. For the learning providers, you don't. It's delegated. Not sure why, but we've got a 50-50 split there. So yeah.
Interesting.
It's an interesting one, but it's in beta. So feedback, so that when it goes GA and goes into V1, that we get those app permissions. So yeah, definitely check out the documentation, because it's in there now in the graph docs.
This is really interesting, right? So that part of it has app level permission and part of it does not. So only delegated permissions. And I think this comes back to Conway's law. So this is just like super old fashioned, but it basically said that if you're an organization and you're designing just like some kind of a system, then you will reflect your own communication structures in that system, which means if Microsoft is creating Graph, they will be reflecting their own internal communication structures in that API, which means shipping their org chart again. So it is somehow relatable. Of course, giving feedback is super important so that they know, hey, we want app level permissions for everything, not only for part of it, because we don't like to set up service accounts and stuff, but still, it is already great that they put this under the Graph umbrella. Because I feel like everything should be under the Graph umbrella, because I don't want to learn just like several models and several APIs and several ways to authenticate. So I want one API.
And I don't want to have to authenticate my app multiple ways and see.
So I want one. So it is already just like a pity that Dynamics and Azure. So we already have just like so many APIs that I need to use day to day. And they're not just like under the Graph umbrella, but they really make a very, very nice effort. And I hope that all of the Viva products will eventually be under the Graph API.
I'll be honest, just having an API would be nice for some of them. But anyway, one step at a time. If they can make them in there.
Yeah, but just like a girl can have dreams, right? Right. So let's hope, fingers crossed. So that would be totally lovely. But I can relate. So I was very surprised about this announcement because, so usually for me, so I'm not a partner, I'm an independent consultant. So I could be a partner, but I don't feel a lot of value in becoming a partner. So for me, Inspire was always just like the marketing conference that that provide a lot of value, but it was more like, giving ideas, inspiration, and just like, showing partners what they expect from them. And now they just like announce something where it's like, hey, I want that. So this is interesting for me. So they kind of mix up conference topics, goals, insights, all of that. So, and I was surprised by that, but I also like it because it means I do not need to wait for next, I don't know, Ignite or Build to get the next major
I thought this would be
announcement.
Ignite before they put this out, so it's really nice. And I think that for those non-developers, what is important about this is that previously you had 13 learning providers available for Viva Learning, something like that. And the number of conversations I had with clients that were just like, no, we haven't got that one. No, we haven't got that one. No, not that one. No, okay. It's not really any value to us. Now suddenly all those different LMSs from big to small are available, people building their own content. If you've built your own custom application, you could put that learning content within here. It's suddenly all open to it. And I really, really like. I think this has come open at a nice time as well. My only slight grumble is, and I haven't tried this out, so I'm going to put a caveat and hope that someone will update me, but they talked about being the content sync API. And one of the things I love about Viva Learning is it connects up with those LMSs. So if you do a course in Viva Learning, it pushes the updates up to the LMS. And if you do an update in the LMS, then there's a way for that to push into Viva Learning. As far as I can tell within the Graph API, I haven't seen any hooks or anything that does that, unless I've missed something. So I guess you could do it on a schedule basis, but it's not going to update that. Whether that's something coming later, I don't know, but it'll be because I'd seen it on the blog post, it talked about content sync.
Yeah. So I assume this runs on a timer, maybe, but I don't feel like this is just like, so if something changes, then just like automatically pull those changes. So I have not seen this yet, but I only had a very, very brief look. Very brief. So maybe, Gary, do you know something else?
So from what I've read, this is very much the CRUD operations for these resources rather than the events and webhooks that you're talking about, Kev. That would be great. Let's have some modern approaches to events. Let's have some webhooks there that we can pick up on those events and drive them into our own systems as well, rather than getting into all these different syncs that have worked, haven't worked over the years. Let's go for some modern approaches. So it's something to look out for. I think there wasn't anything on this announcement though, from what I could see.
Yeah, I think it's because it was called Content Sync. I got all excited, and then again.
But then again, one step at a time. It is already great. So I love APIs, and they put this on the graph. So this is cool. It's in beta, so we can provide feedback and build something with it.
Yeah. No, it's gone down on my summer list of things to try and get done before September kicks in and it gets busy again. So
I want to see that list.
It might be it's a long list. Gary added to
it.
Although he gave me something fun, but.
It is the list.
It's the list that never gets done.
Yeah, totally.
The next one, there was a lot around that kind of had a single post. What was it? From enabling hybrid work to creating collaborative experiences. And there were a whole load of announcements. Let's bring that up for those watching on video on there. The one that, again, I think was quite a surprise to me, something I thought that would be a little bit longer was Excel Live. I don't know if you saw this at all, Louise.
No, I did not see that. So I'm not that of an Excel person.
I'll move on very quickly. So Excel Live.
You put me on the spot. So you see me blush, right? So yes, I'm totally sunburned, but you can see me blush because I did not prepare for this one. So thanks for calling me out.
No, that's fine. So you can have live opinions on this one, which is good. But
it's Excel Live opinions.
Louise Live. There we go. So next team's edition on the.
Yeah, it's a bot that constantly says I have opinions. Yeah. So just like on a random time recurrence, it just like says I have opinions. This is the bot Gary, that I want to build.
There you go.
That's the one. So that's my
Teams
toolkit. Yeah, with the Teams toolkit. Because for everyone who is not aware, Teams toolkit is GA, and Gary posted last week or the week before a fabulous video on how to get started with that. We will put that into the show notes, and I promised to build a bot. And now I have an idea for a bot, just like a bot that constantly posts. I have opinions into a channel or something like that. So let's build this, because then I will call this the destructification bot, because it distracts you.
Sounds like a great collaboration opportunity. There we go.
Right.
I do like the sound of that.
Okay, Excel Live, educators.
So Excel Live, you've heard, hopefully many of you listening, and the other two of you have heard about PowerPoint Live. It's that ability to share a PowerPoint in a meeting, but you're not sharing a screen. You're just sharing that one file. It needs to sit in OneDrive or SharePoint. And the nice thing is that people can have the ability, you can turn it off, but they can have the ability to kind of move the slides ahead and back on their own, or sync back to the presenter. The thing I particularly, or actually two things I love about it. One is that any links that are in there are clickable, so you're not getting that conference kind of holding a phone up trying to get the links, which you then have to type out many lines of later. You can just click on that on a virtual event, and also it's particularly good if you haven't done it when you're a few of you giving a talk and you need to swap back between screens. You can request control, and then you can control the moving of that. There's no more Chris Whitty, next slide please. You can just click on there very easily, which is perfect. Excel Live is what you'd expect. It's the Excel version of that. Share in Excel and work on it within the meeting collaboratively at the same time. Now, some of you might be thinking, who on earth still does that? And I'll answer you, finance. All these finance teams are sitting there going, yes, we can do our end of month, end of year reporting all in one go and things on there, and be able to put the numbers in and talk about it in the meeting, you know, whether that's a meeting that sits running in the background for hours on end, or whether it's one that you're talking through and arguing about budget numbers on there. I had to tell a story about Stonosaka, but I better not, just in case you won't want that shared publicly. But lots of people still use Excel sheets. Let's just say that on there. So I think there will be a lot of people, I think, will find this very useful within meetings to be able to work through.
And I think it was nice to see after our last recording with Hans, we were talking about collaboration and where's collaboration going.
Yeah, that's true.
I mentioned about live share that was announced at Build, and are we going to see more real-time collaborative applications of that? Straight away, we've got Excel Live, which is built on top of live share and that SDK that was released. So it came pretty quickly. So it was
great.
Nice.
Happy Princess shaping the release map of Microsoft once again.
There we go. You see, yeah, and it's it's great because the SDK is already there. That means that we now have an example of how real-time collaboration can work, and I quite like the fact that it's, that scenario that you just gave there, Kev, everyone getting into a meeting and then straight away, right, we're working on this Excel. You don't have to share it and everyone wait and then open it up. It's all shared to the meeting stage. Everyone then can just get in and collaborate. So it reduces that friction, if you like. And yeah, it might be things that we've been able to do in Excel with the co-authoring, but this is just bringing it a little bit closer to where you're actually going to be working. And that sounds like it's in that state, it's going to be a Teams meeting.
if it's like PowerPoint Live, the bandwidth is far less than sharing the application or sharing the window. So if you've got dodgy broadband, as mine seems to be today, it can really help. So a really useful thing to get going with that. And I think then related to that, the collaborative annotations. So this is so let's say you were sharing that PowerPoint, you could all draw over it at the same time, a bit like Whiteboard, but on top of content on there. So whether you're sharing a PDF, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you're sharing, you can put those comments on it. So if you're working together on a document, I know how much we all love PDFs. You can walk together on those, share it, and sort of put the arrows and go, yeah, delete this, move this around. So don't think I'll use it massively, but I think some people will. I think it will be it's a nice addition on there, and also the video clips. So that ability, interestingly, this has kind of come around the same time as storylines, but seems to be a slightly, I don't know if about different technology, but it's not the same videos as will be in there. So slightly different to that. But again, it's that short clippy videos that you can do in there. I get the feeling this is one for the kids.
Yeah, this to me is like WhatsApp. It's like, a slide video or audio recording and send that. But
yes, I totally have opinions. So, people who just like out of a sudden, so you text with them, and yes, it's consumer applications. It's like WhatsApp, and you text with them, and out of a sudden they switch to just like sending you voice messages.
Oh,
and this,
I hope you're going where I think you're going with this.
I don't know. Is this a dare?
That's what she says, yeah.
That's what she said. So the thing is, usually, I don't know, I'm maybe in a meeting and I just like, I need to listen just like a little bit, or just like maybe I'm just like doing things on the side, but I can't listen to that voice message now. And most probably later on, I will forget that there was information, because the chat will proceed, because other people will maybe reply as well, or there's just like more content, if it's a one-on-one chat or if it's a group chat. And I would either forget about this, or I would just be totally missing this out. And I don't like that. So I sent you a voice message or a video message. It's just like, I don't like it. So maybe we should first agree on this. And on the other hand, is sometimes maybe convenient to just like let people know, hey, I have something important to tell you. I do not want to schedule a call because it's taking everyone's time now. But please make sure that you watch this 5-minute video just like until, I don't know, Friday, 12 p.m. so that we can then have a talk about it. Just like to prepare for stuff. But then I would just like be in preparation for a meeting, and then I would say, hey, put this into the meeting, and do not put this into the chat, into the channel or something like that. So maybe, but so I don't like everything about it.
No, I agree. I when I saw this, I just instantly thought of WhatsApp and that exact scenario where someone just in the middle just decides, I'm going to send you an audio recording. And
because it's more convenient for them, but it's not necessarily more convenient for me.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So during a conversation and then switching, absolutely not. Having that scenario of here's something that's just going to be, preparation or the basis of a conversation, that's fine. Then go to text. I think it's one of those features that it feels like it's in other platforms, therefore it should be in Teams. But I'm kind of a bit like, I could live without it, to be honest. There's other better ways to communicate. I think
I'm going to put my hand up and say I feel exactly the same as you two. I worry I'm a grumpy old man, and that's the younger generation are coming through and going, I really wanted this. Please let us know if that's the case or if you're the same. Not that we have that many of that generation listening, I suspect, but would love to hear, because I don't know. It's funny because we're saying the same thing here. Yammer Stories we love, and we love the idea of, and they're kind of the same thing in a way, but they also kind of not. So I don't know.
I think it's the platform that it's in. I think because this is specifically, it's a chat. It's going to be either like 1-to-1 or like 1 to a small group. Yeah. Whereas Stories is very much discovery. And I've joined a company. I want to follow one of the leaders in my organization, and I can now get some information video form. So, if I'm a remote employee, I can kind of consume that. So I think whilst the medium might be similar, the distribution element to it is very, very different. And I think that's the difference between Engage and Storylines and this video clip feature, I think.
No, so I think we're suitably cynical on that one.
So I think the thing with these stories, I don't know. I really don't know, because on the one hand, so Twitter tried this as well, still Twitter stories. And then after a couple of months, they said, oh, we made a mistake.
That's true.
So, and we know that Microsoft, so then everyone had stories, and then Microsoft said maybe, oh, wait, we need stories as well. And as they are just like slow in developing, because it's just like a huge organization, it could be that they're just like now late to that party. But the goal of social media is to let you stay on that platform. They want to just like give you this infinite scroll feeling, so that you stay on that platform and doom scroll. But ultimately, in Yammer or in Teams, we do not want to encourage people to just like stay there forever, because at some point, even with Engage and Goals and Inspire and stuff, we want people to get stuff done, and then they need to just like stop scrolling. And I don't see this yet, how this really fits in. So as much as I love social media, so that I really like this, but I don't feel like this is really adding productivity or productivity opportunity to the workplace. This is why I have mixed feelings about this.
I think maybe it's a way of trying to bridge the gap of what we've seen over the last few years. With we had Steve on the show, right, a while back now, and he was
Steve Adams, CEO of CPS.
Yes,
Steve.
Yep. That's Steve. Yes, and we were talking about engagement and how it was difficult as a leader to connect with people in your organization, and I think it's a good way at least to try and engage with people. I don't think productivity is not the end goal here at all. Yes, there might be issues with scrolling and all that kind of stuff. I see it slightly different. I mean, people can get lost just looking at videos of dogs and cats online, right? And you've lost half an hour.
Totally guilty of that.
You're not going to do that in a corporate setting, though, are you?
Yeah.
And I think it's that scenario of being new into an organization that is quite large. You don't know people, but you've got some kind of social network inside that organization that you can hook into. I think is going to be probably an important thing going forwards, and I think more important now than it's ever been, where we could just all get in the same room and have offsite days and things are coming back, but it's still there's other areas in the world that are not as kind of open still as like we are in the UK. It's pretty open now, but there's a lot of different countries out there and still different rules and restrictions. So I think we've got to keep that in mind as well.
So moving on, one of the bits announcements around Viva Goals. So that's going generally available on. I've suddenly forgotten the date. I can't remember. It's 1st or 3rd of August. I think it was 3rd, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's early August. I know that.
Yeah, on there. Excitingly though, if you do have the Viva All-in license, it should be available to you already. I know one of my fellow Viva explorers, Sarah Fenner, hadn't seen it before she went away on a cruise, and it was meant to have appeared there, and I haven't had a chance to check on some others to see if it's got there yet. But Viva Goals, which I know we talked about last time, is there, which is very exciting. And then Gary, you spot an exciting one for those Mac lovers out there.
Yes, this actually, lots of people using Macs wanting to use Microsoft 365 and have the ability to sign in to their Mac using their Azure AD credentials. And you've not been able to do that before. You had to have a local account, and then you go to your browser and then log in. So it's now coming that's going to synchronize. So you can have the ability to log into Azure AD from the Mac login window, which is kind of like the last piece, really. So you've got that same experience that's going to happen on a Mac and what happens on a Windows for a while.
And hang on, this is for Mac and iOS. as
yeah,
well?
it's part of at the Apple conference, the Worldwide Developer Conference, lots of announcements and updates were made to macOS to enable devices such MacBooks, iPads, iPhones, to make that management of those devices easier. And off the back of that, then enhancements have come in Azure AD as well. So yeah, device management for Mac OS or Mac devices has always been a thorn. From many people I've talked to about this, it's like, yeah, you can do it, but it gets difficult, and sorry.
Just in case people are listening and I've confused them, so it's not that you can do single sign-on on an iPad, it's that you can manage the device more effectively now.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
The single sign-on is on Mac OS.
That's just on Mac OS.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I love this.
Don't think I want to put my long password into an iPad or iPhone.
So I love this because it's just like being cross-platform and just like giving at least a similar experience to everyone, regardless which device they want to choose. This is just like, it's a core feature of M365 that you can literally use any device. So as long as you're on the platform, you may just like choose whatever makes you happy. And this was really like the last day. And yeah, I run on Windows, so I'm not using a Mac, but of course, lots of people do, and I totally appreciate this, that Microsoft not just like, yeah, but it's Apple, and then we don't want to have it. I love this, that they embrace this. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's nice. Another small bit of news that shared channels has moved to generally available, which is very nice. I know some people have looked at it and gone, yeah, it's still in preview. I don't want to use it while it's in preview, which I'm saying that in a mocking voice. I don't mean that at all. You're absolutely correct not to do that. But now it's generally available. So that's really good. And people can start using that on there to make it easier, reduce the amount of tenant switching. Yes, reduce tenant switching. One thing I did notice on this post just a little bit earlier, there's a few updates on what's new as well, and the ability to build apps for shared channels is intriguing. I guess it just means it supports it fully within that channel. I guess you may need to consider where you're kind of saving data, if you're putting things into OneDrive, where that will work and things like that. But I think it's nice to be able to encourage that as well, increase the number of shared channels, which I'm sure there'll be many organizations who will start to hit limits there. And one with the Viva Explorers, we set up a shared channel more as a opportunity to try it out on there, and you couldn't use GIFs or emojis. I mean, what is the point of chatting with people if you can't use GIFs or emojis, really? So very happy to see that.
I think in memes, right? So there's no way where I could ever communicate without using memes. This is not possible to me.
Yeah,
at least. So you know me now. It's so I can't do this. So I think I can blame my kids for that, because they got me into that. Sorry, not sorry. But so the ability that I can build an app for a shared channel, that of course is intriguing. But I of course have questions on just like how things work, because two different tenants, and yes, there's trust. But so I need to look into that, because I have some question marks right now in my mind, but maybe they will resolve after I get my hands on that.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it will support things like Whiteboard. There's been that ability to share what I think is now fully available, isn't it? I know that was talked about, although we're with a client today and it didn't work at all, but I think we have to set something up. So I guess it would be similar things to that, but it's, as you say, there would certainly be something you need to consider as a developer as to where you put things and what it would be needed with items like that. So keeps things busy. I think the final bit of Inspire news that caught caught my eye, and I could be honest, work at CPS, we have quite a big unified comms area on that. So one of my fellow heads of practice talks a lot about contact centers, was at Commsverse seeing the stuff there. So probably top of mind for me. But it was interesting to see Microsoft Digital Contact Center platform. I'm going to be honest, from what I've read through, I haven't seen anything that's particularly new from there. I know there's been something around Dynamics, and I think, was it Ignite last year, or maybe even earlier than that, they were talking about that ability to have a contact center very much linked in with Dynamics. I think the new announcement is that they brought Nuance into the family. So Nuance is a very AI heavy organization. They do Dragon speaking and have done a lot within the AI space. So I think the aim is to bring that conversational AI. And I know the contact center with Dynamics talked about that ability that if you call up a service desk or a hotline, they can actually listen to you say, oh, could you do this for me? Yes, we'll do that for you. And it would hear that and actually generate a task automatically from the speech from there. And I guess this is going to bring more of that into there. And I think the more productivity you can bring into that contact center world. I mean, the size of some contact centers is huge. So to see Microsoft really getting into that market is very interesting. It'd be intriguing to see what else comes from this. And I still can't work out if this is a branding thing like Viva or whether there's truly something new here. So
I have opinion. So when I read that word platform, I assume that there are just like several vendors just like on that platform. So Microsoft now bought Nuance, and that was a very, very smart move to bring in speech recognition, AI heavy. So as you explained, so that was a very, very smart move because they are really, really good at that. So if you're familiar with just like dictating an email or dictating a text in Word, and you already find this a good experience, then you will be mind blown if you use Nuance. But and I like that they just like repackage things so that this becomes just like approachable and just like closer to user story than just like to requirements. It's just like, so it is more relatable to customers. I like that because for me, it's always just the courage to find the right words there. But just one thing, just like notes, that does not make a platform to me at all. And maybe there is just like the first one. And yes, I get this. This will make things easier to maybe hand over from, so this is just like, it sits in the middle of Teams and Power Platform and of course Dynamics. So it will make things easier to hand over just like from a chatbot over Omnichannel to just like a human agent, just like a person. Like a real living person who can actually provide answers. But I feel like there is a lot of just like hot air right now, and I can't really. And so
it was Microsoft Inspire.
Like
that's what it's for.
Of substance right now.
Yeah. No, that's true. I think there's bits in here that was just for those watching the video scrolling through and some of the things coming up. So the biometric authentication, so you can authenticate customers based on voice, will be very interesting. Understanding intent from the bots, which I know there's some of the bits there as well. This one I found intriguing. So having open cases and having intelligent case swarming. So if lots of people open up the same issue, having it automatically identify, I think is really nice. So I do agree with you. I don't think it's a platform. Hopefully we'll see more come from that, and this is the start of something, but we shall see. I think that was most from Inspire. Lots of other great content for partners. I'm not going to try and be too rude about some of the stuff there. Lots of things that will keep salespeople happy and other stuff there as well. But do check it out. As I say, we wanted to bring you the content that we think you really want to hear, not the boring stuff. Talking of the interesting stuff, we should probably cover a few events going on. We've got Collab Days, Netherlands. Registration is still open. They've got the speakers page up there. I've got Louise. Are you speaking in Netherlands?
Yes, I will. I will be doing a session.
Brilliant. Yes. So you're there for that one. Is it true it's at the top of the windmill there, or? not actually in the winter.
Unfortunately not. So it's in the middle of nowhere next to Utrecht.
Perfect.
But it's a lovely place. So and I'm looking forward to be there. So I've been there 4 years ago, and that was really lovely. And I want to be there again, and I will be speaking. So that's good.
No, looks very nice. And you're also speaking at the Power Platform Conference in Orlando, Florida.
True.
Not quite in the middle of nowhere, that one.
Well, so it's quite a long distance, but totally looking forward to that. So it is the very first Power Platform Conference in Orlando, and this will be huge. So everyone, please go register for tickets. It is in person, and it's really the such a great lineup of speakers, both from Microsoft and community. There's so much knowledge to share. So if you're anyhow into a Power Platform, then you should be there.
Absolutely. Seen those lineup of Microsoft speak, and interesting to see, it's a Power Platform conference, so you'd expect Charles Lamanna, Sanya Singh, Ryan Cunningham, but Jeff Teeber's there, Scott Hanselman. There's a lot of different people across Microsoft going to be there, as well as the best community people as well.
It is.
Newly announced, and I haven't accepted this yet, but hopefully should be speaking at Teams 10X. So I'm going to be covering Viva Goals at that. So that is a virtual conference. There are still some of those going, and Teams 10X is one of the bigger ones there. So we'll be joining in for that one on September 28th and 29th. So check out for that one. Louise, you're back at Techorama, which again is in Holland, not in Las Vegas, is it? That picture's confusing me.
Yeah. So this is it's Las Vegas themed. So everywhere, just like slot machines and just like decoration that looks like Las Vegas. But fortunately, it is not in Las Vegas because there it's hot, and I can't stand this. It's just like, so they build a city into the desert. So this is not fun. So Utrecht is really nice, and it doesn't take long from me. So I live in Germany to be there. So that is so
I know
much
Louise and I are both suffering from sunburn at the moment, so the thought of heat
is
totally really not ideal.
So I'm really red. It's just like it's insane.
Yeah, I can't show mine. That would be rude.
Too much information.
Moving on very quickly, we have Club Days Belgium on Saturday, 15th of October. Unfortunately, I don't think any of us are there. It will be a fantastic event. I'm really sad that it is actually clashing with the South Coast Summit, but I think most of us will be there and speaking. I know Al and I are both running workshops on the Friday, so do sign up for those. And for the hackathon, you got your tickets for that?
I have a ticket for the hackathon, so I will be joining Yannick's team, and we're looking forward to hack something nice. So
have you planned your t-shirts yet? Or?
Yeah, we will just like reuse the t-shirts from last year, and it's just like sustainability, because so we had t-shirts that had a print on it. It said "working on it," because they were just like blue and just like showed this donut thingy, and working on it.
Oh, in fact, there it is.
Yes, there it is.
Somewhere earlier. If you do get a chance to check out, I think it was Will Dorrington or Chris Huntingford shared some things. It sounds like they're going to make the hackathon quite special. So
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining, it's fair to say. If entertaining isn't your thing, then I will be running a workshop with Zoe Wilson and Chirag Patel. It'll be entertaining in a very different way, where you can learn about Viva. And I know Al's joining, I think, security and compliance ones. There's lots of workshops going on there as well. Louise, you have Code Motion, which I don't know I've heard about.
Yes, so I did not hear about that as well until they invited me to speak there. So that was, I spoke at an event together with Fabio Francini, and somehow they then invited me to deliver a session there as well. So it is a development-focused event. but with a very, very broad variety of topics. And it's in person and in Italy. So this is quite nice. And which means I will be traveling a lot in October.
Yes.
At some point, I need to say when I'm working, because sometimes I need to work.
Yes, it's a depressing life we lead.
Tell me about it.
And the last one for me, the big one at the end of the year, the ESPC European SharePoint Office 365 and Azure conference over in Denmark. I think the early bird tickets, I have a feeling they're coming to an end soon. So we're a big fan of that. I know, Louise, you've been to a few of these, haven't you? Previously, they're fantastic events. They put on so many things. They have tutorials, so you can go from the whole thing, from a single tutorial to the 4-day events, the 3-day. Just turn up for a single day on there. Myself, Zoe and Chirag are running a Viva dedicated workshop there, and we're trying to hatch some ideas to make that really sparkle from there as well. There'll be a whole load of stuff going on, so if you do have the opportunity, do get onto that as well, and check that out, because they're fantastic. I think we may try and get some people from ESPC to come speak on the podcast about it as well.
I would love to make this happen. And if you may scroll one time again through this slider on the website, one time again, sorry. So
next slide, please.
Next slide, please. So you will just this one, because
the awards.
ESPC just launched the awards, and I may proudly announce here that I am part of the judges that will judge the most innovative solutions across modern workplace and M365, Azure security, and open source. So that would be really, really, really exciting. And we will just reveal at the ESPC party night who are the winners of those awards.
Does that mean you need one of us to nominate Provision Genie? Because Provision Genie must be up there, surely, for the best open source.
Well. So I think I can't do this on my own. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I hadn't realized that. I was looking at that just today, and I think you must have a look at that as well. So that's, that would be really good. And the awards are always a lot of good fun.
Yeah.
I have to when I did see Community Awards, I got excited and wondered if they might have a best podcast entry for that. But so if you are chatting to them, they fancy adding a 6th category, I'm sure we wouldn't say no to that.
Well, so this is really about things people have built. It is not about inspiring people or the best blog post or the best blog platform or anything like that. It is really about the things people have built, which is different to just other community awards, which is totally fine. But they just focus on solutions.
And if anyone is planning over the summer, it doesn't close until September the 14th. So you still have a chance to build your solution, get it out there.
Yeah, so you need to be fast then, because sometimes it might take a while, but well. Another very, very nice developer thingy is we now have a new podcast in community, and this is about so it's called CloudDev Clarity, and it's by Andrew Connell and Julie Turner. And I listened to the very first episode. I liked it a lot. So and I can just I can confirm there is a lot of value in there. And if you're developing in M365 or in just related topics, this is one of the podcasts that you should be listening to.
Can I just clarify? You said podcasts. I think they're just on YouTube, aren't they? Have they made it as a podcast as well?
I think they're doing both. I think
they are.
There's the first few episodes that have kind of come out, so they've done a bit of a batch. But obviously AC is kind of podcast veteran, right? With the Cloud show that that he did for years and years. And yeah, seeing Julie on there as well is great. Julie is fantastic. Member of the PMP team for a long time. She knows everything about SharePoint Dev. So it's going to be great to see those two discuss, dev going forwards on that show. So it's definitely, we're all going to learn from it, definitely.
It's a humbling experience to listen to both of them, just like ranting about stuff. So literally, but so lots to learn, and of course, they also have fun. I can tell. And I listen to that on YouTube. So, but maybe so I don't know on which podcast apps this is available, but we will figure that out.
We will double check put into the show notes.
Exactly, but highly recommend it. Totally.
Yeah, I know. The Microsoft Cloud show that was one of the top ones that inspired me to try and get this podcast going. So we'll absolutely support them because they've answered some of my questions along the way as well. But, always
so hats tip to AC.
Completely. Right, I think we'll wrap up there. I'm going to go and find some aloe vera and try and
have a bath
out how I can stop my legs burning so much from there. But otherwise, we'll be back. So we've only got the one episode this week, so we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time with our next guest. I think we're talking syntax with Leon on the next one, which I'm very much looking forward to hearing lots about. And I know he has some real life stories on there, which is the question that often comes up with syntax. So looking forward to hearing that. But otherwise, thank you very much all. One last thing. If you happen to still be here and you're probably just finished, you're about to go and do something else, just spend one more minute. If you're an Apple podcast, any of those, just give us a review. I'd love a nice one. I'm sure we all would, but just some reviews would be really good. So please post it, share it out with your friends, let them know that you love the show. Big thank you to Amy Diamond. I'm on a WhatsApp group that he set up sharing about Microsoft 365 and called out Grey Hat Beard Princess on there. So big thanks to him. Let your friends, let everyone know. You can tell I've been reading marketing stuff recently. It's all that Inspire thing. But otherwise, thank you very much and see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.